Hello brewers, hello YouTube. Today we're going to brew a Raspberry Coconut Stout. It's going to hopefully taste like a cherry ripe. And the sun's in my eyes. Don't have my sunnies. So brew day Sunday, I'm off the clock today and we're going to allow you guys to come into a commercial brewery and brew a beer with us. Let's go. That was my attempt at a heel click. Choke on. Just the warm-up procedure is a Ralphie rollback. What a machine. Right, brewers. Into the poor man's silo. You know the score, brewers. Who do we choose? Mr. White. This is the first time we brewed this beer, brewers, and I got a style guideline for a sweet stout off the Brew Father. 200 kilos traditional ale, 50 kilos Pilsner. It's going to help lighten up our EBC to stay in the style guidelines of a sweet stout. 12.5 kilos of wheat malt, roast barley. Look at that. Chocolate malt and Cara Munich #1. Brew Father, mate. Link in the description below. 5% off. Look, style guidelines there. All in the blue, sun. Sun.
What percent is it? In
the blue, sun. 6%. I think all she needs is the grease, to be honest. Shout out to Coin Ice. Choc malt first. $13 kilos. Remember, brewers, when handling malt like this, always put your mask on, okay? Beautiful caramel. All right. Brewers, we're going to have our feeler gauge in and check our grain mill. Good, give it a run. Very good. Auger on. So just a quick one, brewers. Always remember to throw your specialty malts through first. You'll clear the auger with your base malts. And that way, if you're brewing another beer that's light beer, you haven't got any roast barley left in your auger, it'll change the EBC of your beer. So run your specialty malts through first, and then run your, like your Pilsner and your traditional ale through. And that'll clear out, because a minute amount of grain will stay in the auger. So you want to clear it out with base malts. 12.5 kilos of wheat. Just going to preheat the mash tun, brewers. Shooting for 68. All right, in go our salts, brewers. First addition to the mash tun is the rice hulls. we're coming up on our temp, brewers. Just want to kill that hot liquor. We don't want to denature our enzymes. We want to keep it around our strike temp the whole time, the best we can. We're shooting for 68. That's right on that crossover of the beta amylase and alpha amylase, so the crossover. So we'll get both types of sugars, fermentable and unfermentable sugars. It will give us a sweet taste to the beer from the residual sugars that the yeast don't metabolise. All right, brewers, we're sitting around that 68 mark. Just slowly coming down, 67.5. So I'm going to start adding that hot. Remember, brewers, it's a fine line between stuck mash and a successful lauter and sparge. So we want to watch our strike water. We don't overshoot. Two things: overshoot the volume and also overshoot the strike temp, which is single infusion today, 68, mate. Shooting for 6% ABV. And our original gravity's shooting for 1059. Single infusion mash at 68 degrees C, 60 minutes, and we've got 325 kilos of malted barley. Righto, brewers, we've crept up to 69 degrees Celsius. So I've just killed our hot liquor in. Still got 100 kilos of grain to come in. So we'll have a bit of temperature shock between the temperature of the grain and the temperature of the hot liquor. So we'll let that mix through, and I'm going to have to grab my little mash paddle and give it a hand. This is real sweat. We're making beer, brewers. That's what I was talking about. The one single adjunct that we've put into the mash is rolled oats. Otherwise we're all malted barley. So it's all a malted barley mix. The only single adjunct of 12.5 kilos is our rolled oats. 3-to-1 ratio on our grain to hot liquor. So she's a big mash, brewers, big mash. Mash started 68 on your dot, brewers. Happy with that. There's a big mash in. Let's check our pH. Love tap. We'll leave those rakes on for the first 15 to 20 minutes so we get rid of any of those dough balls that were created. Let's check our numbers, Clary. Shooting for 5.2 on our pH. All right, we're 35 minutes to go in the mash, so we're going to set our mash bed now. We're just going to switch the rakes in reverse, just half a turn. So we've got a nice evenly spread mash, and then that mash will slowly precipitate down and we'll set the mash so it's ready for lautering. We're going to perform a fly sparge, so we've got a couple of things to do now. We've got to pre-acidify and cool our hot liquor down to 77. So we'll do that. We've also got to prep our fermenter, and we want to run a sanitation loop in the Whirlpool heat exchange. So let's go. Hot liquor tank down to 77. Happy with the pH, spot on, 5.2. All right, we're going to prep our fermenter now with a sanitation loop. The brewers, we're going to use 80 litres of 0.2% paracetic acid. What we're going to do first is prime the pump and clear the pump of any foreign objects. So our discharge line on the pump is below the tank. It'll run through and discharge any debris or unwanted contaminants in the product line. Also primes the pump. Brewing's a process, Claire, that's why we go through the process. Let's get some power. Keep the leads up out of your feet, see that? Look at that, hazard. Gone. What's that? You can only hope. Yeah. Righto, so we're just going to run this pump. We're going to coat the uni tank. It's going to come out the bottom. Any contaminants will come out bottom. Close our valve. Secondary valve shut. Then we're going to let it run out the racking arm. You know the process, brewers. Get this loop running. I'm going to open both valves so that equalises and we don't get cavitation in the pump. This will put 10 pound of pressure in our tank too, so we can check for any leaks or make sure our clamps are all done up. But because we're good brewers, we would have done them all up tight and not got distracted. But it's a secondary check. All looks good. Sanitation, sanitation, sanitation. How are we going for time? Nearly ready for the burl off. We're just prepping a sanitation loop. For the heat exchange and Whirlpool, I'm also going to sanitise the sight glass. So we've got our FV6 prepped, our Whirlpool's prepped, and now we're going to begin the burl off. So we've got a couple of extra steps today, brewers, with the coconut. I want to slightly char the coconut with ethanol and fire. Fire! What are you rolling your eyes at? Why? Because it brings out aroma and flavour. And it's going to be dramatic when I set the ethanol on fire, and just good TV, really. What's next? Burl off, we're going to check our hertz. We've got quite a large mash today, so we're going to leave those hertz around the 16. So we've pre-acidified our sparge water. Sparge water, which is our hot liquor, brewers. 5.2 on your dot. Pre-acidified, we're just bringing it down to 77. Now, brewers, we're going to prep our coconut. We're going to call this our coconut bag, our big coconut bag, big coconut sack. So we're going to soak this in peracetic acid. All right, brewers. So a couple of things, we've got all our coconut sorted. We're going to have a Whirlpool edition of 12.5 grams per litre. So a couple of things to enhance the flavour. We're going to add a little bit of ethanol to the coconut. And then we're going to add a little fire. Step back. So we're alight. Remember, ethanol burns clear. So we're just going to slightly toast that coconut. Smell the aroma a lot more now. So toasting. Don't want to char it though, it's just a light toast. So I'm going to spread that flame around. How do you put it out? How do you put any fire out, brewers? Starve it of oxygen. That's it. Right. Now we're going to glove up. It's a food grade nylon bag that's been soaking in peracetic acid. Grab our 5 litre bouquet. So we want this all prepped, brewers, because we don't want to get behind our kettle. So, you know, when the kettle's running, it should get full attention. So we prep this early while we're doing the burl off, performing the burl off and charring the coconut. 12.5 grams per litre into the Whirlpool at 85 degrees Celsius. Amazing. Massive aroma difference after we've charred it. Give us a shovel there. Let me set the scene for you, brewers. We've got an open fire pit in the brewery, and they'll, in the words of Trevi, this beer will warm the cockles of your heart. So 6%. That's if we come in on the lower side of attenuation. We could make 6.1, 6.2. It's the first time we brewed this beer, so we don't know the yeast performance yet. The software has predicted 6% even, but we'll see. The ladies will give us what they give us. And the aroma difference, have I mentioned the aroma difference between before it was charred or lightly roasted? There's just a massive, massive difference. So much more aroma. And this is the perfect vessel to do what we just did in, because essentially it's a little kettle, basically. So it's got an aluminium base, sandwiched between two stainless steel. That's the Verloff complete. Two stainless steel sheets, and it holds that heat. It cooks the coconut really well. So that's our coconut prepped. We'll clean that. Shush. Shush. Not a good sign, bro, is it? I'm going to preheat our kettle. We've got that massive big 325 kilogram mash. So we're in stuck mash territory here, brewers. We're nearly maxed out the mash tun. A bit like the when we brewed the Belgian triple, but we didn't get a stuck mash. So if you want to go check that video out, check it out. I'll put a link up there or that way. Is it always up there? Right. Start the transfer. Ugh. She's slow. Looks like about an 89-year-old bloke at the trough. Could be a long day. Nah, we'll be right. Nothing's a problem, hey? Not too bad. Done. It'll give us plenty of time to clean up, Clary. All right, let's clean up our other vessels now, brewers, while the old dribble dick goes. Yeah. Kick the kettle in the guts, it's brew day. Have a look at this, brewers. This could be our problem. Our rice hulls are floating. Like a big turd. But it is. Clarity of the wort is amazing if you want to have a look at that. What's the EBC on that? 82, you reckon? What's EBC stand for, you ask? European Brewing Commission. It's the scale of colour. EBC. Fun facts with Sammy. Safety Sammy here. Oh, wanker. Anyway, nothing's a problem, brewers. All I see is solutions. You know that. Kettle's away. Kick it in the guts. It's off and racing. So we don't get behind our kettle, brewers. We're going to go clean up the mess we made when we charred the coconut. Righto, let's clean this up. Grab that lid there, Stains. All right, brewers, let's prep our salts. We've got some calcium chloride and calcium sulfate to go in. Getting low on this bag. Hey?
No bag.
Yo bag. 200 grams. 100 grams of gypsum. The drywall. And then our hops. We have two editions today, brewers. Our first edition is 60 minutes. HPA Galaxy. Australian product, smells amazing. All the way from Tassie. Going to Tassie next Monday with the Hua. So Brewer and the Hua on tour in Tassie. 500 grams, 16 IBU, 60 minutes. Galaxy, gonna give us some passion fruit notes, citrus. 500 grams exactly, brewers, you know the rules. So we've got a second edition, and it's in the hop stand. So it's 1500 grams, 1.5 kilos of Galaxy, 16.4 alpha acids, give us 8 IBU. In a commercial setting, brewing, although it has its fuck-ups constantly along the brew day, whether it's equipment or other issues, brewing is, yeah, that's right. Claire had to take her pants off, not in a good way. She sat on a bit of paracetic acid. And I'll tell you what, brewers, she didn't have these on her ass. Anyway, nothing's a problem. We just diluted with a bit of water. 1500 exactly, 8 IBU. Let's go. Just looking at the work, Grant, we're a very fine line now between pleasure and pain, brewers, with a stuck mash, but if you have a look at mud guts there, Clary, we're doing all right. I brought those hertz back up to 16.4. I could probably lower them a bit to 16. We're getting away with it, brewers. It's a big mash, 325 kilos in that mash tun. Righto, let's seal up our hops, fresh as best. Get them back in the cool room. Where did I get this sealer, Claire? Well, I got it from Amazon, link in the description below. I don't care, we're not selling out, brewers. All right, so we're prepped. Coconut edition prepped, which is also in the Whirlpool. You don't want me to talk with my hands? It's a good way to explain, mate. So what we're gonna do, brewers, what about this? All right, brewers, praying to the brew gods. So what I was saying before I was rudely interrupted by the camera lady, we're prepped up, everything's prepped so we don't get behind our kettle. That's the most important thing on brew day. We're gonna stay ahead of the kettle. Fermenter's prepped. The, what's it called? Coconut's prepped. Sanitation loop in the Whirlpool heat exchange and fermenter. And now it's just the waiting game. We're all prepped, ready to rock. Salts are prepped, hops are prepped. I'm prepped for a good brew day. So far, no issues, touch wood, but we'll see how the day progresses. All right, what we're doing now, brewers, we've just removed all the paracetic acid out of the Whirlpool, and now we're going to run the wort through the heat exchange and then back into the kettle. So we've got to remove any paracetic acid out of the heat exchange because it's an oxidizer. There's our change. So we've completely removed the paracetic acid. So that's a double loop back into the kettle now. It's just another way we can sanitize our heat exchange, and it also allows us to chill our wort down to temp. So we end up 85 degrees Celsius for our hop stand and our coconut. So we're going to steep at 85. The coconut's going to go in first. We're going to set that up before the wort's transferred to the Whirlpool, and that way it's in contact with the wort a lot longer. Whereas when we do our hop stand for 15 minutes, it's going to be the last addition. So all the wort will be in there, and then we'll add our hops, but the coconut has more time to infuse its flavour into the wort. 1,000 litre checks, brewers. Still performing our fly sparge, as you can see, if you want to have a look. There you go. You see we're starting to get a little red there, a little redhead. Coming towards the end. $10.26 at 1,000 litres. Very efficient mash, and quite a quick one really, hasn't it then, Clary? We're running at about 14.5 hertz, brewers. So we've got such a heavy mash. Even with our rice hulls addition, we're a fine line between a stuck mash and a efficient fly sparge. Look how compacted that mash is, brewers. Very, very close to getting that stuck mash. Look at it. Living the dream. We're on the ball, brewers. In go the salts. 500 grams Galaxy. Kettle gets full attention, you know the rules. First sample, brewers, which will be a pH test and gravity. Looking good. We're hot, we're at 50 degrees and we're 1061. Very efficient. So remember our original gravity, 1060. We're hot, 47 degrees and we're 1063 nearly. That slow mash, borderline stuck mash, but we got it in, has been really efficient. So more beer for us, brewers. More beer, more beer, more beer. So we'll just dilute back. Might start now, it's quite hot. 1300 litres. We'll just check our pH on this sample. Very gingerly. 28 degrees and 5.1, so we're looking pretty on target there. One thing I didn't mention is the Whirlpool edition. 15 minutes. That's our Whirlpool edition. Now we're just going to set up our beautiful coconut bag in the Whirlpool. She's heavy. So brewers, like I said earlier, the coconut's going to be in contact with the wort longer than the hops. So we don't want to pull out any more bitterness of the hops, but we want maximum infusion of the coconut. So as soon as the wort enters the Whirlpool, it'll be in contact with the coconut and we'll give it a couple of flicks. A couple of dunk of the tea bag, son, and really infuse it in. So it'll be in contact with the wort from the first piece of wort that is transferred. It probably takes about 15 minutes to transfer. So that's 15 minutes from the first wort in contact, and then we've got a 15-minute rest. Give it a couple of dunks like a tea bag, and then whatever it takes to knock out, which is probably another 25, 30 minutes. So it's in contact a lot longer than the hops. All right, let's do our second sample. Now we've diluted a bit. To the brew desk. All right, brewers, we just diluted. So we've got 1300 litres and we're still at 29 degrees, 1063. Highly efficient mash, very slow fucking mash, but highly efficient. So, you know, we're only going to get to a point where we can dilute back so much, and then otherwise it'll just be more booze for us brewers. If we were shooting for a certain dilution, we could dump some wort and add some hot liquor, but this is the first time we brewed this, so we're going to get what we're going to get. The other thing, the pH at 20 degrees C is 5.07. So we're going to add some calcium carbonate to bring our pH back up because we're shooting for that 5.2. So we'll add that to the kettle. Just got to watch boil over when you add calcium carbonate. So you kill that kettle straight away once you add it, especially with a direct fire kettle. Dilute another 50. But I wouldn't go any more. 1350 in this kettle, we're maxing it out. So we'll take another sample in a couple of minutes. Let that come back up to the boil. Agitate all the calcium carbonate. All right, third sample, brewers. So we're just chilling it so it's accurate, but we diluted back to 1350 litres. Once that sample cools, we'll check our numbers. We've got a sanitation loop running in FV6. And we've also pre-chilled our stainless down to 14 degrees Celsius. So I'm just going to turn these other tanks off. Nothing's in rapid fermentation at the moment. We're looking pretty good with that pH adjustment. We're at 5.14 and 35 degrees. So when we're at 20 degrees Celsius will be our most accurate. So we'll check it when it's there, brewers. Yeah, he's in his work safety boots. Have you heard? Out of the brewery and thongs. Okay, we're 6.017. 1060 was our target, so I've diluted back 1350 litres in the kettle at the moment, which is quite a lot. That's about us max. I wouldn't go any more, we'll just have boil over. So we're 1061 basically. So that's what we're going to be. Like I said, I could pull off some wort and add some hot liquor if I was chasing a number, but this is the first time we brewed this beer, so 26 minutes remaining, pH 5.25, which is perfect. We're going to pick up a bit of acidity from leftover acid in the Whirlpool. Okay, brewers, happy with that. Now we're going to turn our tanks off and chill our, like I said, nothing's in rapid fermentation. And chill that down to -8. Remember, brewers, before you go, Claire, brewing's a process. Never skip the process. Are you turning it off? Mid-sentence. We're going to Tassie, brewing the Who on tour. I've been to Tassie, how about that? But I haven't been yet. But when you're watching this, I'd been. Might come back a little less tired and a little less angry. This is the the view from the brew from the roo. I don't know what I'm saying. All right, brewers, this is our Well Flock edition. It's 15 minutes left. We're going to do our final sample checks. Our pH is looking good. And we're 1062. I think that's going to be us, brewers, 1062. And our pH is starting to stabilise, 5.25, perfect. We've got 8 minutes left to the boil, 10 minutes left to the boil, brewers. It's been a long day, been a long Sunday. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. It really helps us grow the channel. Makes these brew days on Sunday worth it. We get to bring you into the commercial brewery and brew a new beer from scratch. So do us a favour. Hit it. Ting! Ring the bell, you know, all the bullshit. All right, we're coming up on the last 5 minutes of the boil. Then what we're going to do is chill the wort in the kettle. So we're going to run it through the heat exchange. Cold liquor one side, cold water the other side. And then it's going to run back into the kettle. And we're going to chill the kettle down. So we achieve 85 degrees Celsius in the Whirlpool. And the reason we do that is because we don't want to pull out too many IBU out of the Galaxy hops that we're using for aroma only. Still will get a little IBU pickup. It's I think 6 IBU, 1.5 kilos of Galaxy. So it's mainly a big aroma charge, and we'll get that nice citrus notes and stone fruits and passion fruit, which Galaxy gives. And then also we're going to have our first coconut addition. There will be one in secondary fermentation at the later end of fermentation. Also going to add raspberry puree in the fermenter as well. So once fermentation is complete, we'll remove the yeast, add the coconut and the raspberries. We'll sit on that till we get our desired flavour profile, which is going to be similar to a cherry ripe. And then we'll dump the cone until we clear the raspberry and the coconut off. And then we'll send a package. So it's a 2-part series again. We're getting a few questions about the keg cleaner. So I'm going to build one for you and you can copy the design. Cheap keg cleaner, we're going to build it with parts that we find just in the brewery. Happy with our numbers, brewers. Come up in the last minute of the boil and we're going to kill it and chill it. Kill it and chill it. Like I said, we're going to just watch our kettle temp now because we're going to have thermal separation in the 2 temperatures of the wort. We're going to want our sensor because it's on the lower end and we're coming into the bottom of the kettle out of the heat exchange. We want that to sit around 68 degrees Celsius. By the time we get into the Whirlpool, we should be 85 degrees Celsius. Close to either side, 84, 86. See how we go. All right, while that's happening, let's go prep our fermenter, finally. Just going to recapture our sanitizer in the blow-off bucket, pack everything up. Just for clean-up, you know, Clary? Clean brewery is a good brewery. Someone playing the fucking harmonica or what? Is that in this music? Whoever brought their harmonica to the brewery, beat it. Can you hear it? 69.4 brewers, let's get to 68. So manual pump off. Check all our valves are shut, our dump valves. So shut, shut, open, open. They're all confirmed. Now we're just going to let that temperature Equalised brewers. Maybe we might only have one watching. It could be brewer. Yeah, hashtag only brewer. All right, that's equalised. Let's send it into the whirlpool. Check it out, that's the money shot, baby. Oh, smell the coconut. Holy shit balls. We're dunking it. Dunk, dunk. Just want to watch we don't disrupt that flow. We want that low pressure in the centre, Claire. You know why we want that? You know why we want that, brewers? Leave a comment below. Why do we want the low pressure in the centre? Rain. To precipitate out any solids. I'm trying to get it all hydrated and separated between the wort. Hydration, separation. And then we'll let that last of the whirlpool. Oh, you can smell it now, smell that? Now just let the remainder of that whirlpool create that natural low pressure in the centre of the whirlpool. And then everything will precipitate out away from where we pull off the fresh clean wort. So remember, there's going to be another addition after fermentation. Go time, brewers. Just going to clear this wort. Come with me if you want to live. So see how it's quite a lot of trub still there. That's it, nice clear wort. We're just going to clear our heat exchange, so any hop debris that's carried over. Just till we're clear. Clear fresh wort. Shut, open, cold water on. All right, we're shooting for 21 on our fermentation temp. So we're going to go flat out on the hertz. We're also going to pitch SO4 yeast, this English ale yeast strain, perfect for a stout. It'd just be pitch and ditch. Got it?
What happened?
Nothing's a problem, brewers.
What happened?
Tap's fucked. You did well to get that on and not lose much. Alright brewers, that's part one of the coconut stout. So all finished today on the Brew Day Sunday. Hope you enjoyed it. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. See you on part two. Hooroo.